from?
I'm from Vietnam, but currently I'm living and studying in Austria.
Okay. So what country did you travel to?
Actually, I travel to a lot of country, but I would prefer to talk about Austria because I know Austria much because I have been living there for 5 years now.
And what languages do you speak?
In Austria, you mean in Austria, we speak German, Austrian German, and then English. Yeah.
So when you travel to, how do people greet each other?
Because this is Western country, it's Europe, so people often kiss each other and hug, and also sometimes men they do handshake. Yeah.
Okay. And in general, do people in your culture tend to travel alone or in groups? Why?
In my culture, you mean in Vietnam?
In your culture.
In my culture, it really depends. I couldn't say that people tend to travel in a group because I'm Vietnamese and I would like to travel in a small group, like between 1 and 2 people, not really in a big group. But some people, they would love to travel in a big group.
What do you think is the biggest difference between the people from your country and people from the country that you travel to?
The biggest difference is I think European people, they are more open-minded than my people, than Asian people. And I think they are more academic because they know about politics, they really care about politics, and they really know about what is going on around the world and the country. But my people, they just focus on our country. They don't really read or they don't really care about the other thing that happened in, for example, Thailand or in Austria. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So next one, what does your ideal holiday look like?
My ideal holiday should be completely off. Completely separate from the social media. I want to be surrounded by nature, like sandy beaches, or hiking, or go climbing, or snorkeling. It has to be separated with social media.
Okay, social media. So if you were start planning to go to the country that you're not familiar with, their culture, what will you prepare?
I will first read about what is allowed and what is not allowed. Like before I came to Thailand, I have to know what people here expect and what I shouldn't do. For example, I shouldn't touch the monk, or I shouldn't use my leg to move the object because it's really abandoned in Thailand. Yeah. So reading about the culture, understand about the culture before you come to a new country. Yeah.
So, what was the most enjoyable thing that you did during your vacation?
The most enjoyable thing.
Right.
This is getting to know new people and learning about new culture, trying new food, and interact with local people. That's the thing I enjoy most.
So next one, what do you like about the culture that you visited to?
In Austria, I really like the manners of the people. They really decent and they really, for example, when you say you work, so it means you really have to work. And I think it's really cool when you greet people by give them a kiss or hugging. It shows that you are close to them. It shows that you know, the distance gap will be shorter when you do this.
Right. And have you ever faced anything in other culture that is considered rude in your culture?
Like one time, my best friend, she's my best friend. She was my roommate, my old roommate. But yeah, she was drunk and then she went home and then she just tried to touch my head. And in my culture, this is offended. Yeah, I think it's similar in Thailand, right? Yeah.
Do people say what they think? Is it polite or impolite to be direct when you speak to someone?
In my opinion, I think it is polite, and to me, to be open and honest is really important. I cannot stand with people who think this one but say something else, and I don't like people who talk around. But some people, like in my culture, they don't like it, especially people from the northern part of Vietnam. Their style is they just speak around, you know, the topic, and even though they like it, they say they don't like it. That's how they are. Yeah.
Okay. And the next one, do you like change? How do you handle when the things change from what you used to?
Well, from my point of view, if you live in a certain environment, you have to be adaptive with the environment, because that's the way to, you know, to bring you to the culture, to make you feel comfortable with the culture. For example, if you live in a country or a German-speaking country and you don't speak German, that's really isolate you to other people and the environment, and you really cannot enjoy your life. Yeah. So I think change is good, and it's also a challenge for you. Yeah.
Okay. So, next one, have you ever faced culture shock before?
Yeah, like I told you, like my first month in Austria, everything was completely new, and I was extremely shocked because the way people react, and yeah, and also with greetings and learning about the culture. It's a culture shock for me because everything was new and I was alone there. So I say it was a nightmare for me, my first month in Austria. But after that, I'm used to it, and I know how to adapt myself in order to fit the environment, the country.
Right.
Yeah.
Is the price of merchandise fixed, or are customers allowed to bargain in the country that you visited? And is it different from your culture?
I think you can bargain everywhere, especially when you go to, you know, the flea market or night market. I think it is acceptable. Bargaining is acceptable everywhere. But the thing is, in Austria, people don't boasting, don't exaggerate the price that high. But I found in my country, if you are a foreigner and you visit my country, you will get the price like really, really high. But the actual price, that's small. So yeah, I think that's the difference. So people in Europe, they do bargaining, but it's just a little amount.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you value time? How important is punctuality?
Punctuality to me is really, really important, because it is the easiest thing that you can do to show off your characteristic, to show that your ability to your work, to your job. Because if you don't show up on time, if you miss the bus, or if you come to work late, and if it's happened like several times, like this is not good. And this is how people, judge you. So to me, punctuality is really, really important, and this is the easiest thing that you can do.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the end of the interview. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.